Welcome to this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break, powered by JM&E, producer JM&E. I am, of course, KG Kris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. You are watching this live stream show, my show, The Takeover, on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel, or you might be watching it on Roku via the BS3 Network. And if you're doing that, that means you have the BS3 app. If you don't, and you have Roku, go to Roku, download BS3, get the app, or you can watch all of our content via BS3Network.com or BS3TVLive.com. Get into it. This show is recorded. I am at school working, learning and being tested and adjusting to new things and all of that wonderful stuff. It is an adjustment. It will have an impact on what I produce and how often I produce content on the HoustonRoundballReview.com and the Houston Roundball Review channels. Some teams, some sports might take a back seat to others, but you'll get the gist of that, and I'll still give you the best of what I can, give you the best of what I got, giving you the best that I got, like Queen Anita used to sing, or still sings. But as you know, I am a proud University of Houston alum. And the Cougs, my Cougs, take priority over almost any show I do. First up, and I am going to pat myself on the back. Pat myself on the back. For weeks, I said the Cougs Arkansas game would not take place at the Barclays Center, that it would take place in Newark, New Jersey, at the Prudential Center. It is official now, as of Monday, September 8th. But as members of the Houston Roundball Review YouTube section know, they already knew that, because my source told me, was adamant. Kris, trust me. Cougs playing in Newark. Cougs Arkansas in Newark. Trust me, it's just waiting on a few minor things. It's going to happen in Newark at the Prudential Center. So with that confidence, I gave my members that confidence and gave them that content early. They were in the know before. If you're not a member, you just found out on September 8th. But if you're a member, you already knew about all this. But scan that QR code and join the family, join the membership. Here is the official release. Houston, Arkansas, to meet at Never Forget Tribute Classic. This is the press release sent out by the organizers of the event. Preseason top 15 programs, Houston and Arkansas will meet at the Never Forget Tribute Classic, a crucial non-conference showdown on December 20th at Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. The game will air on the CBS television network, Big CBS, and stream live on Paramount Plus. Game time will be announced at a later date. I have been told what that game time, the most not logical, but probably the agreed upon time will be. And I have mentioned that to my members, and I'll mention it to them again. So scan the QR code if you are not a member and become a member today. 2 tiers, $2.99 per month to get to that information and more. Starting at $2.99 a month. More to it. This will be the 8th edition of the Never Forget Tribute Classic. I'm not going to mention that, but you see who the organizers are. They're not advertising here yet. It's in the works, though. The event has traditionally supported various 9/11 related organizations and will select a charity beneficiary once again, I think in a few weeks. The recipient of support from this season's game will be unveiled in the coming weeks. Quote from head coach Kelvin Sampson: "The great thing about piecing together a schedule is that you have to schedule teams who are going to test you. when you play one of John's teams, Coach Calipari, you know their fan base is going to travel. Prudential Center is going to be full of Razorback fans. End quote. That's true. What do y'all think, Cougs fans, as you're watching the takeover? Is it still just the reality of the situation that Cougar Nation does not travel in mass yet to locales that aren't within Texas, aren't in the Midwest? They don't yet travel in large groups to the Northeast. Is that what Coach Sampson is kind of saying there about Razorback Nation travels? And Prudential Center will be full of Razorback fans? What do you think about that? Is it just reality of the situation, or is it just like a little prodding to Cougar Nation to keep grinding those gears and getting better and being well traveled throughout the country to see the Cougs men's basketball team play wherever they're hooping? Coach Sampson continued, Arkansas is one of the great programs in the country, and John is a Hall of Fame coach. This is a great opportunity to test ourselves early against one of the best programs in the country, end quote. And let me do this before I forget. There we go. Quote from head coach John Calipari. We are excited about this matchup for our fans. Razorback Nation proved last year they will show up for games like this that are played in elite facilities at destination cities. We look forward to facing a top-level program led by one of the best coaches in the country. Coach Cal continued, Kelvin and I have been friends a long time. He has built an incredible program with a great culture at Houston. This game will be a great measuring stick for us as we wind down the non-conference part of the schedule and start to turn our attention to the SEC schedule, end quote. Fans interested in attending the Never Forget Tribute Classic can register to receive direct email alerts regarding ticket news and other details at PRU Center, CENTER.com/NFTC. The pre-sale for the event will begin on October 7th and will go on sale to the general public on October 8th. Tickets will be available at Ticketmaster.com, PruCenter.com, and the Prudential Center's box office. So again, it's official. I've been waiting for it to be announced officially. A few days ago, I was told, I think last Wednesday, I was told, looking for maybe Thursday to be announced, made it official. Then that didn't happen. I think I mentioned that last week on the Takeover. Friday didn't happen, but Arkansas did announce a matchup with Texas Tech on the 13th of December in the state of Texas in Fort Worth. So when I saw that announcement, I was like, okay, it's getting closer now that it's going to be official, Coogs, Arkansas. And sure enough, lo and behold, the matchup was announced officially September 8th for December 20th in Newark, New Jersey at the Prudential Center. As I said weeks ago, and have maintained that for weeks. Back at news about the Cougs. And this hoops is we're getting closer and closer to hoops. That's what football season means to me. Hoops is close. That's what it means. Houston Cougars men's basketball with 2 ESPN Big Monday games in really 26. The Houston Cougars men's basketball program will compete in 2 ESPN Big Monday matchups against Big 12 conference rivals during the 2025-26 season, head coach Kelvin Sampson announced Tuesday afternoon. The Cougs meet Iowa State on February 16th inside Hilton Coliseum in Ames, Iowa, before facing Kansas inside Fog Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence, Kansas on February 23rd. Each game will tip off at 8 p.m. Central and air on ESPN. Houston was one of 4 Big 12 schools with multiple Big Monday games this season, joining Arizona, Iowa State, and Kansas. The remainder of the Big 12 schedule will be announced soon. Soon, yes. Last year, Big 12 announced the schedule, I think September 26th. So we're getting closer and closer to for that happening. But one thing we do know, and this is another thing that members of the Houston Roundball Review YouTube section already knew, but this was announced officially as well, this time on September 10th. Eureka! The Cougs men's basketball non-conference schedule is now out, is now official. First game, that's exhibition game, October 26th against Mississippi State in Fort Bend County, Rosenberg, really, at the Fort Bend Epicenter, part of a doubleheader. I think that game will be televised, if not streamed. So maybe not linear, but streamed. The other game in that exhibition doubleheader is Texas A&M facing Arizona State. That's a Sunday, October 26th, and tickets are on sale now. The season tips off. Game 1 of the regular season tips off for the Cougs in college basketball. Monday, November 3rd. On the 3rd, the Cougs will host Lehigh. Then November 8th, host Towson. November 12th, host Oakland out of Michigan. November 16th, in Birmingham, Alabama, semi-neutral site, facing Auburn in the Battleground 2K25. Cougs fans know, college basketball fans know, Auburn and the Cougs faced off last season inside Toyota Center, a game that Auburn won. The next 3 games on the schedule for the Cougs will be in Las Vegas, part of the Players Era Festival Players Era Championship. First matchup for the Cougs, November 24th against Syracuse. Then November 25th against Tennessee. And then November 26th, that's a Wednesday, will be determined on how the Cougs finish in the first 2 games. If they're undefeated, they would be in the winner's side of the bracket, and then we'll see who they face. December 6th, Saturday, facing Florida State. That game will be at Toyota Center, part of the Houston Hoops Showdown. December 13th, hosting New Orleans. December 20th, as mentioned, game against Arkansas in Newark, New Jersey. And then to wrap up the non-conference schedule, Cougs will host Middle Tennessee on December 29th. So a balance of some elite programs, some mid-tier programs, and then some not quite tier programs. I forgot one matchup on here. I forgot to type it, but the Cougs also will face Jackson State out of the SWAC. So Coach Mo Williams has a tremendous amount of respect for Kelvin Sampson, and Coach Sampson does more than he can to help out other minority coaches at HBCUs in Jackson State, and Mo Williams is part of that legacy that Coach continues to establish and build and grow upon. So there you go with Cougs Hoops News. Happy to say it. Going to say this now. As you watch this, On Thursday, September 11th, the Coogs football team will be a day away. What would it be? Roughly 18 hours and some change if you're watching the show live at high noon on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. Cougs host Colorado Friday at TDECU Stadium. Kickoff time is roughly, what do you want to say, 6:33. It's a Friday downtown, H-Town. Traffic will be a nightmare. Get there early if you can. If you haven't got tickets, I think there's still some tickets available. Buy your tickets early. Get there early. Tailgate. Participate in some of the festivities. Take advantage of the transit systems, the transit transportation, the bus, the train, all of those things to try to make it easier on yourself to not have to deal with so much traffic if you were to drive. But Cougs, Colorado, Cougs football, 2-0 after beating Rice 35-9 in the Bayou Bucket after a sluggish start Saturday, first 28 minutes of the game. Finally awakens from the slumber and pulls away from Rice to win 35-9 to keep the Bayou Bucket for at least the next 5 seasons. Cougs have only given up 9 points in 2 games. That's nice. It's impressive. The level of opponent competition is not the same as the team they're facing on the 12th of September in Colorado, even though Colorado's probably going to start their third-string quarterback. He's the best equipped quarterback for the Buffaloes, played the best so far. So that's most likely what will happen. But the game, fans get there early. Colorado fans will be there. Fans of Coach Prime will be there too. Coach Deion Sanders, Prime, Coach Prime. Be there if you can. Should be, hopefully it's a good game, competitive game. Hopefully the Cougs will improve to 3-0. The line is Cougs minus 4.5. I think it was that Sunday or Monday. It's still minus 4.5. That's kind of surprising. But try to be objective. I think the Cougs are going to win. The offense has to play like it did in the second half against Rice and not how they did in the first half against Rice. Ooh, pew, pew, pew. Next, on today's edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break, powered by JM&E. You're either watching here on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel, or you're watching on Roku via the BS3 Network. Big 12, Big 12, Big 12. I'm going to discuss Big Monday from 3 different angles because I am on the email list for all 3 of those entities. First, the Big 12 Conference and ESPN announced that 6 conference men's basketball games were selected for Big Monday telecast. This season marks the 30th season the conference has been showcased on Big Monday as part of a long-standing arrangement with ESPN. And if I remember correctly, this is year 30 of the Big 12. The Big Monday slate starts off with Arizona visiting BYU on January 26th after the 2 teams split their meetings in 2025. Arizona won 85-74 in the Marriott Center to start the season series, but Richie Saunders made 2 free throws in the final seconds to lift BYU to a 96-95 win at the McHale Center. Kansas visits Texas Tech on February 2nd, a rematch of a 78-73 thriller in Allen Fieldhouse a season ago that took a Red Raider defensive stop in the final seconds to secure victory. Arizona and Kansas face off February 9th in Lawrence, after splitting a pair of games in a 6-day span in 2025. The Jayhawks won the home game 83-76, led by a career-high 33 points from Hunter Dickinson on senior night. But then the Wildcats exacted revenge with an 88-77 win in the quarterfinals of the Big 12 championship in Kansas City. The last two teams to capture the Big 12 championship in Kansas City meet on February 16th in Ames as Houston visits Iowa State for the first Big Monday tilt in Hilton Coliseum since 2017. That's hard to believe. The first Big Monday game for Hilton Magic since 2017. Wow. College game day was on hand at the Fertitta Center for the team's only meeting last season as the Cougs defended home court 68-59. Excuse me. The slate concludes with a pair of rematches from two of the conference's most thrilling overtime games in 2025, with Houston visiting Kansas February 23rd and Iowa State going to Arizona on March 2nd. Houston's last visit to Allen Fieldhouse was a double overtime thriller that saw the Cougs erase 6-point deficits at the end of regulation and the first overtime before prevailing 92-86. That was a hell of a win for the Cougs right there. A hell of a win. Hell of a comeback. Arizona's Caleb Love, now on a two-way contract with the Portland Trail Blazers, hit a shot from beyond half court to force overtime and an eventual 86-75 win over Iowa State. That was a fun game to watch, too. I remember that one. 4 Big 12 teams reached the Sweet 16 in the 2025 NCAA men's tournament, with Texas Tech advancing to the Elite Eight, so close to getting to the Final Four, and Houston finishing as a national finalist. The conference had the nation's best winning percentage in the NCAA men's tournament, as 7 teams were selected for the Big Dance. Hoops, hoops, hoops. I'm looking forward to college basketball season. Much, much more than I am to NBA season, including the Pistons. Here are the dates so you can see them. ESPN's Big Monday schedule is made up of 6 straight weeks of double headers featuring high-level conference clashes in the ACC, 6 p.m. Central, and Big 12, 8 p.m. Central on ESPN. And there is a lineup, Big Monday, Big 12 schedule. Once again, January 26th, Arizona at BYU. February 2nd, Kansas at Texas Tech. February 9th, Arizona at Kansas. February 16th, Houston at Iowa State. February 23rd, Houston at Kansas. And wrapping it up, March 2nd, Iowa State at Arizona. Big 12 basketball. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Big 12 football schedule. Week 3. Touched on it. Friday, September 12th. Colorado at Houston. ESPN, 6:30 p.m. Central. Kansas State at Arizona on Fox, 8 o'clock Central. Then Saturday, September 13th. Starting off the weekend. Samford at Baylor. ESPN Plus, 11 o'clock a.m. Baylor with a gritty come-from-behind win over SMU in double overtime. Came down, trailed by 14 late in the fourth quarter, forced overtime, and won in double overtime. Final score, 48-45. Next, Oregon State at Texas Tech. Game on Fox. Another Big 12 game on Fox, people. 2:30 p.m. Central. In Oregon State, the Cougs go to Corvallis on the 26th, I believe. Northwestern State at Cincinnati, ESPN Plus, 2:30 p.m. Central kickoff. Backyard Brawl, I think that's what it's called. Pittsburgh at West Virginia. West Virginia lost to Ohio last weekend. Ooh. I don't know how good Ohio is, but no, I know Ohio is not Ohio State. I know that. But Pittsburgh at West Virginia on ESPN, 2:30 p.m. Central. Iowa State at Arkansas State. I think that's right. ESPN 2. Yes, ESPN 2 for that one. 3 o'clock Central. Abilene Christian at TCU. ESPN Plus, 7 p.m. Central. Utah playing great football so far, offense and defense. At Wyoming, CBS Sports Network, 7 p.m. Central. Then wrapping up the night for Big 12, Texas State at Arizona State. Sun Devils lost the lead on the road. Mississippi State, oh, bad loss. The way they lost. Defense had a breakdown. But that game will be on TNT and HBO Max, 9:30 p.m. Central. Some tidbits of info. Big 12 football week 3 notes. Big 12 Conference will publicly provide player availability reports for all conference games this season at big12sports.com/FB reporting, beginning 3 days prior to kickoff. And you can go to that site and see the status report for the Cougs Colorado game. The Big 12 is 3-1 versus the ACC, with 3 non-conference games remaining against Power 4 opponents, all of which are ACC programs. The Big 12 Conference is tied for the FBS lead in total defensive and special teams touchdowns with 11. The Big 12 is a combined 66-0 against FCS programs since the start of 2019. It is the only FBS conference to be undefeated against FCS schools during that time. Arizona and BYU are the only FBS programs not to surrender a touchdown on defense this season, and are joined by Houston to give the Big 12 3 teams in the top 5 nationally in scoring defense. BYU first at 1.5 points per game allowed. Arizona tied for 4th with Houston. Both have only allowed 4.5 points per game. 9. Half of the top 10 winningest active coaches in FBS are from the Big 12. Willie Fritz, 3rd. Rich Rodriguez, 5th. Mike Gundy, 7th. He won't be going much higher than that. Lance Leipold, 7th. Kyle Whittingham, 9th. Colorado and Houston will face off in their conference opener on Friday, marking their first ever head-to-head meeting as Big 12 members. I think the last time the 2 teams squared off was like, the Blue Bonnet Bowl, something like that, in early 70s. And Colorado won that game, by the way. For a second consecutive season, the Arizona and Kansas State matchup will not count in the conference standings due to the game being scheduled prior to Arizona joining the Big 12. So there you go with some news about the Big 12. Near the bottom of the hour of today's edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover. You're watching it live. I'm recording it Wednesday night. Hope you're enjoying the content so far. Scan that QR code so you can become a member of the Houston Roundball Review YouTube section. And I will now play a promo of BS3 to give you a better idea of what BS3 TV is all about. Stick and stay. The Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break, powered by JM&E, streaming on the Houston Roundball Review's YouTube channel and also on Roku. Yes, on Roku via BS3. Be back in 90 seconds.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Welcome back to the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break, Throwback Thursday, powered by JM&E, streaming on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel and on Roku via the BS3 Network. If you have Roku, download the BS3 app so you can watch shows like this one and other great content. If not, go to bs3tvlive.com or bs3network.com. I am, of course, KG Kris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. First part of the show discussed Coogs basketball, the Cougs Arkansas men's basketball matchup taking place December 20th in Newark, New Jersey, inside the Prudential Center. 2 Cougs games on Big Monday. The Cougs also announced the non-conference schedule for 2025. Those 2 things were already known to the members of the Houston Roundball Review YouTube members only section. Scan that QR code. And while I'm discussing the QR code, I'll go and discuss some info of what the membership section is all about. 2 tiers, All League, All World. All League, $2.99 per month. Early access to new videos and status updates. Content like non-conference tidbits, like Coogs Arkansas, like Cougs football info, photos, status updates, loyalty badges, emojis, the all-world tier. In addition to the all-league perks, members-only YouTube shorts, members-only videos, members-only live streams, and once I get settled with the new job, this first week has been rough, not rough, but adjusting to how everything is. I will have my first members-only live stream show and will announce the perks for the members for their support and for their supporting the all-world Houston Roundball Review with that purchase of $4.99 per month. Back at it, the second half of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover. Gonna talk Big Monday from ESPN's perspective. As I said, I touched on the Big Monday from the Cougs perspective, from the Big 12 conference perspective, now from ESPN's perspective. ESPN unveiled the 2026 men's college basketball Big Monday schedule featuring marquee ACC and Big 12 conference games. ESPN unveiled them 6 straight weeks of double hitters featuring high-level conference clashes in the ACC and Big 12. The schedule features 10 of the top 25 teams in the country, according to ESPN.com's way too early rankings. That seems kind of low, honestly. But anyway, beginning Monday, January 26th, ESPN will showcase marquee matchups in the ACC, 6 p.m. Central, and Big 12, 8 p.m., through the final Monday of the college basketball regular season, March 2nd. Featured teams include number 3 Houston, number 6 BYU, number 10 Texas Tech, number 13 Arizona, number 18 Iowa State, and number 21 Kansas. Of course, those are Big 12 schools of the Big 12. And number 7 Louisville, number 12 Duke, number 24 NC State, and number 25 North Carolina from the ACC. So you got 6 Big 12 teams ranked in the top 25 of ESPN's way too early rankings, and 4 ACC teams in ESPN's way too early rankings. The Big Monday schedule breakdown. On January 26th, number 7 Louisville at number 12 Duke. After a remarkable first-year turnaround, head coach Pat Kelsey and the Cardinals enter the 2025-26 season as legitimate Final Four contenders. After reaching the national semifinals in 2025, the Duke Blue Devils, lost to Houston, have hopes of cutting down the nets this April in Indianapolis. Number 13, Arizona at number 6, BYU. Arizona returns 3 starters from last year's team, which is rounded out by 2 top 12 recruits. BYU enters the season with hype after landing number 1 overall recruit and potential first overall NBA draft pick AJ Dabansa and Baylor transfer guard Robert Wright III. It's all about AJ Dabansa, honestly, and Richie Saunders. February 2nd, Syracuse at number 25, North Carolina. The Syracuse Orange have expectations of reaching the NCAA tournament for the first time since its Sweet 16 run in 2021, while North Carolina is expected to compete for an ACC title with its revamped roster. Maybe, I guess. 21 Kansas at number 10, Texas Tech. Kansas freshman Darren Peterson is a potential first overall NBA draft pick, while Texas Tech's J.T. Toppin is the reigning Big 12 Player of the Year. Darren Peterson and AJ Dabansa in the Big 12. Love it, love it, love it. February 9th, 24th ranked NC State at number 7 Louisville. NC State enters a new era under first-year head coach Will Strong-Ass Offer Wade, who brings in a strong transfer class, led by Texas Tech transfer Darian Williams. Louisville has a highly rated transfer class of its own, led by Virginia's transfer Isaac McNeely and Xavier transfer Ryan Conwell. Number 13, Arizona at number 21, Kansas. Arizona is coming off back-to-back Sweet 16 appearances, while Kansas has won 2 national championships and reached 2 Final Fours and 5 Elite Eights since Bill Self took over in 2003. February 16th, Syracuse at number 12, Duke. All eyes will be on Kyan Anthony, the son of former Syracuse national champion, Hall of Famer Pops Carmelo, and Cameron and Caden Boozer, the twin sons of former Duke star and ACC network analyst Carlos. All 3 players are top-ranked recruits and are expected to be major contributors at the same schools for which their fathers starred. 3rd ranked Houston at 18 Iowa State, one of the most successful programs this decade. Houston has a chance to return to the national championship game in 2026. Iowa State has not missed the NCAA tournament under head coach TJ Otzelberger, Coach Muscles. February 23rd, Louisville at North Carolina. Highly ranked freshman Mikael Brown Jr. and Caleb Wilson go head-to-head in an anticipated showdown in Chapel Hill. Houston at Kansas. Two of the country's top head coaches, Kelvin Sampson and Bill Self, meet at Allen Fieldhouse, or their teams meet at Allen Fieldhouse. Then wrapping it up, March 2nd, Duke at NC State. Coach John Shire's Duke Blue Devils make the short bus ride to Raleigh in an anticipated Big Monday Tobacco Road showdown. Iowa State at Arizona. Two of the favorites to win the Big 12 conference. How about that? Hello, BYU. Meet in a late season matchup that could have post-season implications. So there you go with news about the Big Monday involving ACC and Big 12 teams. Now in these final few moments of this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the lunch break, Throwback Thursday style, Throwback Thursday edition. Going to talk some football in the American Conference. Let's see, get this right this time here. There we go. Week 3 schedule. This weekend, September 13th, Oklahoma at Temple. Oklahoma going to Philly to face Temple. Temple won't win, but they got Oklahoma to come there. 11 o'clock kickoff game on ESPN2. Memphis at Troy, ESPNU, 11 a.m. kickoff. Washington State at North Texas, ESPNU, 2:30 p.m. kickoff. Incarnate Word at UTSA, ESPN Plus. UTSA lost last weekend to Texas State. 2:30 kickoff. South Florida, 18th ranked South Florida, the South Florida Bulls. 2-0. Beat Boise State. Beat Florida. Both teams are ranked when the Bulls faced them. Bulls faced their third straight ranked team this weekend, this Saturday, at 5th ranked Miami. Game on the CW. 3:30 Central kickoff. Florida Atlantic at FIU. ESPN Plus, 5 p.m. kickoff. Monmouth at Charlotte. ESPN Plus, 5 Central. Prairie View A&M at Rice. ESPN Plus, 6 o'clock Central. PV lost last weekend to brand new UTRGV. First year of the program of football. Beat Prairie View. And of course, Rice lost the bucket to the Cougs 35-9. Both teams are 1-1. Support both teams if you're in town. East Carolina at Coastal Carolina. ESPN Plus, 6:30 p.m. kick. Duke at Tulane. ESPN2, 7 o'clock p.m. Navy at Tulsa. ESPN Plus, 7 o'clock. And then wrapping it up, Akron at UAB. ESPN Plus, kicking off at 7:30. A few tidbits of info from the American for week 3. Teams from the American are a combined 2-2 against the Big Ten and SEC. Those conferences are a combined 55-5 against all other opponents. South Florida is ranked number 18 in this week's Associated Press poll and faces number 5 Miami Saturday. The last time a number 18 South Florida squad faced the number 5 ranked team was September 28th, 2007, when the Bulls knocked off West Virginia 21-13. Memphis enters week 3 with a 6-game winning streak, which is tied with Ohio State and Illinois for the nation's longest active streak. Navy has won 5 straight, which ties Missouri, TCU, LSU, Louisville, and Air Force for 4th. South Florida is the only team in college football to open the 2025 season with 3 consecutive games against top 25 teams. As I said earlier, they defeated 25th ranked Boise State in week 1, number 13 Florida in week 2, and face 5th-ranked Miami Hurricanes this Saturday. The American has had the Football Writers Association of America National Defensive Player of the Week in each of the first 2 weeks of the season. South Florida linebacker Jalen Schuler was the week 1 winner, while Army safety Colin Madison won in week 2. UTSA running back Robert Henry has registered 4 consecutive 100-yard games on the ground. Switching to SWAC schedule. SWAC Football Week 3. This Saturday, first game, Tuskegee at Jackson State on SWAC TV. Full slate of games on SWAC TV. Get the app. Get SWAC TV. Tuskegee at Jackson State, 2 o'clock Central. Alabama A&M at Tennessee State, ESPN Plus, 3:30 p.m. Central. Alcorn at Mississippi State, ESPN Plus and SEC Network Plus, 5 o'clock. Miles College at Alabama State, ESPN Plus, 5 o'clock kick. Bethune-Cookman at South Carolina State, ESPN Plus, 5 o'clock. Prairie View at Rice, of course, ESPN Plus, kicking off at 6 at Rice Stadium. Be there. Support both teams. Lincoln out of California at Arkansas Pine Bluff, SWAC TV game, 6 o'clock Central. Kentucky State at Grambling, SWAC TV game, 6 o'clock Central. Mississippi Valley State at Southeastern Louisiana, 6 o'clock Central. Lamar at Texas Southern, SWAC TV game, 6 o'clock Central. Albany State at Florida A&M, SWAC TV game, 6 o'clock Central. Then closing it out, Southern. The Jaguars at Fresno State. That game can be seen on the Mountain West Network. Kickoff is slated for 9 o'clock Central. That'll do it for the schedules for Big 12 football, American football, SWAC football. Those conferences feature H-Town area teams. So I'm going to try to mention them throughout on the Takeover each week as often as I can, as best I can. Reminder about the Once a Coog, Always a Coog t-shirts. Scan that QR code. That's a different QR code. That's a QR code specifically for the t-shirt, the Once a Coog, Always a Coog shirt. Red, light blue, not Houston blue, light blue, and black. Once a Coog on the front, always a Coog on the back. Thank you to my supporters, my models there, Queen Wanda Polk and Dr. Maisha Tianru for sporting the shirts. Dr. Maisha, of course, is also an advertiser in the Houston Roundball Review business directory. She's the owner of the African Center of Well-Being. So I want to thank her as well, as always, as well as Bayou Beat, Be Elite Basketball, Byron Riley CPA, Pantaleon Law Firm, Pruitt's in the Heights, Star Pizza, Tejas Brewery, United Sports and Entertainment, VIP Realty, and the Saxenian family. Join these groups, join these people who are supporting the Houston Roundball Review with a listing in the business directory by emailing advertise@thehrr.com. I'll give you the price information, the listing. You get mentioned on shows, the live stream shows, mentioned in clips that are shown on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Threads, TikTok. Price is less than $1 a week. Advertise at thehrr.com. That will do it for today's edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break. Throwback Thursday edition. The Takeover is powered by JM&E. And of course, if you want to see your company name mentioned up there and replace where it says advertise here, email me at advertise@ TheHerr.com. As I've stated a few times in today's show, the Takeover streams on YouTube and on Roku. So your name, your company will be seen. If you have a commercial, you can play it also here during the show. Play the commercial during Folks Talking Sports if you want to advertise on that show. If you want to advertise on the AdMax Corner, where AD Moore discusses the Texans, you can do that too. If you want to advertise on the Rocket shows, you can do that too. Advertise at TheHerr.com. Closing it out, subscribe to the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. Scan that QR code. Become a member of the Houston Roundball Review YouTube family. Click on that bell so you are notified when new live stream shows are posted. But if you are a member, you'll receive, in addition to, you'll get inside info, get videos and news and info first because you are a member and a direct supporter of the Houston Roundball Review. Wrapping it up, my pleasure to share content with you. Hope you enjoyed it. Share your comments as you're watching the show on Thursday in the chat box, or if you're watching the show on demand, leave comments below video in the description, below the description. In conclusion, since 1994, the Houston Roundball Review, local name, global perspective. Everyone, take care. Peace.